All right, ladies and gents, boys and girls, hope we're all doing well. Welcome to yet another edition of the London Session, guys. It's that time again. So without further ado, get this show on the road. And guys, as you know the drill, as always, good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening, and no matter where we are around the world. Once again, welcome to another edition of the London Session. Looking forward to seeing what we come up with moving forward here on the gold, which is broken that previous weekly candles high. So who can remember from yesterday what I did say about the importance of that previous weekly high and low, and what that suggests to me perhaps moving forward throughout the week? Guys can remember, let us know. It'll be interesting to see who's actually paying attention on the stream. But we'll get into the analysis shortly. In the meantime, guys, you do know the drill. If you could, YouTube, smash that like button. TikTok, hit that little screen for me. Let's get the masses onto the stream. Any charts, any questions, anything you'd like me to have a look at, please feel free to pop that into the chat, and I'll have a look at you. We'll have a look at that for you guys shortly. In the meantime, let's have a good one, team. Let's have a look at the news. Let's see if there is anything of significance for us scheduled for our session here today. Nothing scheduled for our session here today. Obviously a big day though, very big day into NY with PPI, the leading indicator for in regards to the way inflation is heading, and that appears to be on the increase. So that means the Fed may be a little bit reluctant to cut. From all reports are that they're more likely to cut. That is why gold, that is why Bitcoin have also popped up. But funnily enough, DXY is not really pulling back. So for those that think it's inversely correlated, I always say focus on whatever pair it is you're trading, whether it be the DXY or gold. There you go, because gold is also pushing. The majors are still pretty much pulling back. There is no bounce from the majors at all, so just be wary of that, guys. But anyway, let's have a look at the charts, and let's start as always with the gold. Anyone have the answer for me from yesterday's stream as to what I mentioned about that previous weekly candle? I don't think there is the answer. A little bit disappointing. I would have thought someone may have a stab at it. There's nothing wrong in getting it wrong. I just appreciate if someone actually had a stab at it. But anyway, what I did mention yesterday, guys, about that weekly candle was that it closed weak bearish. It closed above that 4K level. It tapped back into that 4K level. Now, it to me is either going to be a pause for continuation to the upside, or if it broke the low, I believe that would have perhaps led to more of a pullback and potentially a strong bearish weekly closure. But seeing we have now broken the high of that previous weekly candle, I now do believe there's a high probability that we will continue to the upside. Doesn't mean it has to, but based on probability wise, I now see this as just a pause in price action, and I see as potential liquidity grab for price to continue to push bullish. And we're going to mark in that previous weekly candle's high. Make our way down onto the daily time frame here, and how's that for a closure? Beautiful strong bullish engulfing candle once again. Not quite tapping into that 4K level, but still tapping into the support, which lines up with some resistance to the left. That is a catalyst if there is ever one to beat, if there is to be one. Really strong bullish closure above the resistance. I'd also be marking that current daily candles low. So we've got the counter probabilities on the daily to the upside. Doing some pretty clean traffic on the daily up to that 4200 sort of region as well. Potential destination perhaps, but what we're going to do is mark in obviously the high as well. We're going to see what we got either side of those two levels. So obviously below the low, we're going to be pulling back below that resistance. So I was just making sure I wasn't on mute YouTube. That would be a disaster. So that could lead to a deeper pullback. Looking at the 4-hour structure, did mention yesterday we were bullish. That was the only time frame at the time of the stream yesterday, in my opinion, that was bullish. Remember, we're looking at weekly candle, daily candle, not the structure itself. We're focused on the 4-hour and 15-minute structure. The 4 hours is bullish, remains bullish. What I'm going to do is mark in the previous resistance for the time being. We're going to see again what sort of levels we've got once we go down to the 15. Could mark in a level to the upside. We're far off it. We'll perhaps see what we've got on the 15-minute time frame here and focus on that. All right, so off the back of that, I'm just going to adjust this zone across to the most recent price action. I'm going to incorporate that bullish candle's low, and just going to drag this across to this support here, which pretty much lines up with that resistance, and that will be my support, which again, as I mentioned, lines up with that resistance. So that is a potential level that price could pull back to. I'm just going to remove that horizontal in order to grab some more liquidity. We're also going to mark in a resistance up at the daily candles high. We'll change that to blue, seeing it is a 15-minute resistance. We've recently just tapped into it and rejected. I actually like that because perhaps we're creating that necessary pullback in order to grab enough liquidity in order to continue to the upside. Let's just quickly look at to see what we've got above the high, and we do in fact have some pretty clean traffic up to this resistance around that 41.67 to 70. So there is definitely the margin above the current daily candles high for continuation buys here on the gold. So we'll definitely be looking for continuation buys above the high. And again, look, I like how triggering sellers. To be honest, I wouldn't want it to come from these lows though. I'd rather, if it did pop straight up, trigger in some more sellers once again, close back above, trap those sellers, and then look for a potential buy as price begins to close above that 41.55 sort of region. Now, further options, guys. Look, is there a potential option shortly? Just looking at 5 minute quickly. 5 minutes got a little bit of resistance. We've closed above it. We are pulling back to retest it. What I want to see, if there is to be a trade in 2 minutes and 40 seconds, I want this candle to close bullish engulfing. Very simple. Extremely simple. That would be the catalyst to suggest that we're ready to head back up. We're back above at that point. Most recent support formed at 41.40. I know we've popped below it. I'm not interested at all in selling it. We're in a big, strong uptrend. For me, the sells, I'd rather it break its own low, tap into, retest the Asian session range and begin to pull away from it. At that point there, where I may be inclined to consider some sell options. Otherwise, guys, I'm just going to be looking for my potential buys, preferencing it popping down a little bit lower to tap in perhaps that previous resistance yet again. It is not necessary though, because we have already done so since breaking it, which was today, since breaking that resistance from yesterday. We've broken, retested, so we don't necessarily need to pull back to it, but that would be the preference. But aside from that, guys, in the next 1 minute 40 seconds, if we do close bullish engulfing, I would also consider that to be a strong enough catalyst to look for a potential buy. But that is my personal opinion of the gold. Make of that what you will, but please don't forget YouTube, smash the like button, TikTok, hit that little screen. Let's just focus on gold for the next minute and 25 seconds to see if in fact there could be a potential entry shortly. Looks like it's struggling. Looks like it could potentially close below that high of that bearish candle. So what I'm currently doing is, first of all, I'm activating my magic keys just in case. I'll need to focus on what the highest point of this candle is as well. But once again, I want to close bullish engulfing. My members, I'll send you guys a link once we have the closure of this candle. Just want to wait and see. Let's quickly look at a 5 minute yet again. I don't mind the structure here on a 5. I don't mind the fact that we're closed above the resistance, closing perhaps a weak bearish candle here, which provides another minor resistance, but this would have to close a little bit stronger. Like I said, I would rather it closing up near the high. At this rate, it doesn't look likely. So looks like we may need to wait, and perhaps price will come back down to that 41, 34, 35 sort of region before it heads back up again. And that is the level I would preference a buy from. So 10 seconds, guys. Let's just see, and then we will move on and have a look at GJ and some other charts that I've already marked up. All right, so it's not valid for me. Just quickly going to send a link to my members group. I hope you guys are all doing well, my team. Had a good education session yesterday. The education sessions are back. And regular members only sessions are back as well. So I'm looking forward to it, team. As you guys know, there is a Black Friday 20% discount for anyone interested in a lifetime of their subscription. We'll get into that a little bit later on. All right, on to GJ here. This chart I marked up. This is one I prepared earlier, as they say. Preferencing sells unless we pop back down to the 4-hour support. So GJ, technically speaking, still bullish on the 15 until we close below the support. We're bullish. That is the highest point the market got to in the structure. This is the origin of the swing to the upside. So therefore, anything between basically this high and these lows, I would consider us to be technically bullish, and we are so far, obviously respecting those levels. So we're just consolidating, in my opinion. There is no clear direction. So whilst we're consolidating, what I'd like to see is if price popped up towards that 205, 450, roughly 470, only to reject, pop back below. I'd be looking for a price action catalyst to sell it. If it actually pops above that resistance, then I'd be obviously looking for a price action catalyst to buy it as well. Into clean trap to the left, I can see gold is pushing to the upside. Otherwise, I just preference it coming back down to 205.20 and look for a reaction to that level there for a potential buy. Let's quickly look at gold. Wow, absolutely pumping. Yeah, all good. It's not my trade, so all good. We'll have to wait and see on gold. GU, just quickly, chart marked up. It's at a level of interest. It is still in a downtrend, in my personal opinion. A 15-minute structure is bearish here, similar to GJ. A little bit deceptive, but in the opposite direction here. So that is the lowest point the market got to. Prior to that, that was the highest point. A closure below this swing point here shifted the structure to the downside, which we obviously got the closure here. So therefore, anything between this high and this low, for education, guys, to pay attention, in my opinion, is technically bearish on this particular time frame. Coupled with that, we've got the weekly. Previous weekly was bearish. I'm still considering the strength of that previous weekly against the current. Still too early into the new week. Focus on the current. Do have the daily to the upside. If it breaks like that previous daily, potentially could continue bullish. Do have 4-hour structure being bearish, and often these slow trickles in the opposite direction to the actual trend are often met by a waterfall. Something you'll see quite regularly. Obviously, we had it here. Waterfall happens quite regularly, so will not surprise me if in fact it does reject. So I would be focused more on the sell options on GU personally if I was to trade it. Plus the fact of the matter is, without the current resistance, you're running into some strong levels here to the left hand side as well. So I just don't see a potential buy on it. EU, similar to GU, I'd be focused on the sells. It is also in a downtrend. My bias is bearish. It is approaching a level of resistance, and I'd just be looking to see how price reacts to it for a potential sell option. Does look cleaner above the resistance as opposed to GU. What you could look for to add confidence to any buy on EU is the fact that if it pops above the resistance, you're breaking the Asian range high, and if it begins to pull back to retest it and pull away from it, that to be enough. That to me would be enough of a catalyst to suggest we read to fill the range back up to 115.40 roughly. So that would be enough for potential buy. And that is EU. Now it's a quick round up of proceedings at the minute. I will say g'day to the guys in the chat now. I hope we're all doing well, one and all. Cracking day here in Melbourne. It's not going to last long. Weather is about to shit the bed again, I think, as of tomorrow. Sebastian, appreciate you, my friend. Hope you're well. How's the corner? G'day to you. Been a busy day, mate, but all good. Love the emojis, Sebastian. Appreciate it. KS Multimedia, SS Multimedia, g'day to you. Looking forward to winning today. Yep, looking forward to seeing what we can come up with. Waiting for a confirmation to enter a potential entry. Oh man, appreciate it. Give a like. Man, Vic, am I tripping or Forex pairs not tradable these days? I really don't like currency pairs. Totally off it. Totally off them, to be honest. Still happy to trade gold, but just need to be patient with it. Frank, good morning to you, brother. Man, Vic, EU short is at 115.450. How do I manage 115.450? Well, we should be safely at break even. You probably should have secured some profit, my friend. Tapped into some solid support here, 4-hour level. Yeah, I'd definitely be at break even, mate. If it pops back above some of this resistance, likely heading up to the next level. So yeah, I would have secured some profit personally. Oh, good day to you, Marilla. Hope you're well. Gal Marek, good morning to you. Very delicious. Hello to you, Lawsy. A lot of the YouTube members. Good day to you. Hope you're well. Now, TikTok, your turn to 70 plus me on stream. Don't forget to follow, do all that good stuff. Smash the screen for me. Feel free to ask questions. And let's have a look at the TikTok chat. Gold flew yesterday, Michael. Good day to you. Yep, did during the MI session. I think it was off the back of some news coming out of the Fed of potential rate cuts moving forward. It's obviously what Trump wants. He wants to keep the markets, the bubble going. So likelihood is that they're going to cut rates, but with PPI predicted to be a lot higher than previous, that may not be the case. Retail sales lower, that would be good for potential rate, well, not a cut to be honest, but definitely not an increase, because that was just maybe a slowdown in the economy. Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see what happens coming out of that moving forward. I think the US are closely watching what's going on in Japan as well, with the carry trade and the long-term bonds on the Japanese yen, and perhaps the actual Japanese market pulling out of US debt, which could really crash the market. I'm talking about the equities, because they, I think, are the number one creditor of US debt. But if it's more worth them buying their own debt back, which it looks like it is because they're getting a better rate on it, and that could signal a big pop in the markets, and have been closely watched by a lot of economists that I follow. That is to be the case, then gotta be careful being in some of these slightly riskier on assets, such as your cryptos, your tech stocks, so on and so forth. But Trump will do his best to keep the bubble going upwards. Be interesting to see who wins the tussle in the end. What else? TikTok. Oge. I wish I understood. Just keep watching, you might eventually understand a thing or two. Bog just, let's see. Do you think it would drop to 4,050 in a few days? No idea, mate. You watch my streams regularly. I don't focus on what could happen in a day or two. I focus on the now, where we're at, what levels we're at, and where I could potentially get involved in a trade and what I need to see. So don't have a crystal ball to be able to tell you. I'm a swing trader. Wish I could. I hope it drops. I really want it to drop, but I can't tell you, mate, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. Kiwi, what's the best app for this on phone, bro? I would not trade on the phone. It is very risky. It's very tough to manage, especially gold. Gold just has too much volume. By the time you go to manage a trade, it's likely shifted sometimes in your direction, but a lot of time against you as well. So I personally don't recommend on the phone. This particular app is TradingView. Can trade from it. My broker does offer trading through TradingView, but the issue is, and why I don't use it, if one main issue is I can't use MagicKeys, and I like to use it to manage my trades. I think it's important to have trade management tool when you're scalping, because you need to be quick. Another thing is, for whatever reason, I see markets on TradingView is 2 minutes slower than everything else. I don't know why. I wish it was telling you I wish everything else was telling you what's happening in the future on IC markets, but it doesn't work like that. That's why I don't use it. Gotta love the dedication. 157, appreciate it. Bog just, let's see. Do you think read that? Anything on GJ Siva? Did mark up the chart. Just consolidate. It looks shit, in all honesty, excuse the language. BM gold, waiting for it to pull back for a buy or above the high. Only interested in buying it. It's too strong of an uptrend at the moment after that push from yesterday, and the fact the current daily has also got high low, high high to that previous daily candle. Mac Gaming Live, thank you for sharing a live, mate. Appreciate it. GU just consulting, heavy metal bulldogs. I did look at it just moments ago. Popping a butt will add a resistance, but you've got strong level. It's a really strong 4-hour level. It's ugly on a 4-hour. I preference selves on GU. Lockie, g'day to you guys. Hope you're well. Yeah, we'll see what happens. BM, do you think it's going to range tool news? It could happen. Who knows? Who knows? AS, g'day to you. Welcome. Turning game so I can see it 2 seconds ahead. Oh, it's 2 minutes, mate. I see markets and it's behind. Raj Kumar, hello sir, waiting for a sell? No, I'm waiting for a buy, to be honest. I'm not being a smartass, it's true. I'm waiting for a buy, I'm not waiting for a sell. What are MagicKeys, Lozzie? It's this toolkit. I mean, this is the old version, but it's still fine. It just helps me manage my trades. There is the on-screen version, which I do have, but for some reason it's asking me to input my license key again, and it's saying that license key is already in use. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I'll have to contact him. Yeah, so it's just good toolkit to manage your trades as a scalper. I do have a discount code in the link below. I think the online version is like 35 or something US. It's a one-off payment as well, I think. I'm pretty sure. Also talking about services, guys, don't forget Black Friday week. Actually, it's 10 days. I think I've got the sale on 25%, 20%. Sorry, not 25. 20% off lifetime VIP, lifetime for your membership. So it's either the monthly subscription, 20% off that, or 20% off the annual. So if you are interested, feel free to send us a message. Those on TikTok, because I can't share a link into the stream. Link to the actual VIP is on my profile page. The actual code, if you want the code, you can send me a DM and I'll happily share it with you. YouTube, it's pinned to the chat, the link and the code. So definitely worth it, because I'm back in swing of things. I'm back more involved. I was a little bit incognito for about 3 to 4 weeks. I had a lot going on. Still around for the members, but not as many live calls. But now I'm back to at least 3 or 4 members only calls a week. Gold just consolidating at the minute. Lawsy, all good, mate, no problem. Rest day from the gym today, guys. 6 days a week at the moment. Smashing it. Trading games, can I ask how to find a zone? Well, there's different ways to go about it. Everyone does it differently. Some don't even use a zone. So the way I do it is, first of all, I start in the 4-hour. There is no 4-hour resistance. Well, actually there is. This should be gray. Sorry, that's my bad. We've just closed. That's why. So I look at the time. I look to see what the highest point of the 4-hour resistance is. It is in fact that bullish candle, and I adjust it to the open of the closest bearish candle, which happens to be this candle. The downside, this is a little bit different because I focused on the previous resistance, but it's the same thing, but usually looking for the lowest point of any bullish candle and the closest body. So it's often the same candle. For instance, that could be the zone that you'd be marking into the downside. It's not always the same candle though, but often it is. And then what I do is I go down to the 15. I look to see what sort of zones I might have in the 15. Look, I could even mark one in just here, minor zone, but I doubt I'm going to be looking to buy above it. Look, we will mark it in. Actually, I'm just going to adjust that. I change that to blue, seeing it is a minor zone, and we could potentially look for buys above that point, but likely won't have the margin. And what I also do is I just adjust it to, so I see if this is actually the highest point of any bearish candle on the 4 hour. And if it's not, then I would adjust it to the highest point. Sorry, it's the highest point of any bullish candle. It's not the highest point. Let me do this again. It's not the highest point of any bearish candle at the resistance. It's actually a bullish candle. So go down to the 15-minute time frame. And if this was also a bullish candle, what I'd be doing is adjusting it to the highest point of any bearish candle on the M15. And for instance, it could be there, but it so happens to be this M15 is a bearish candle, so that zone remains. To the downside, I would normally do something like that, but again, I want to incorporate the previous resistance, which pretty much lines up with the daily support at the low of the day. But there's different ways to go about it. Well, to go about it, I will do a video. I've got it on the list of videos to upload, so we'll definitely do that. Just be on the lookout for that. Emma, how often your trades and win? More than 80% of the time. Stream record is, since the entirety of the stream, 135 wins and 33 losses. I think that's a pretty good record. Very patient, disciplined trader. Not bothered if I don't get a trade. Just have to stick to my rules and what works for me. Training games, thanks, all good. Emma, no problem, thank you. BM, is there a chance it runs now? There's a chance it could run, there's a chance it could drop. It's just, that's reality, it's fact. I mean, I can't predict. All I can do is react to what I see. At the moment, I don't have anything to react to. If we close up right near the high, preferably engulfing, then I may have something to react to, but I need to wait, obviously, 11.5 minutes for that confirmation. Now, the issue will be the exact same thing we spoke about yesterday on some of the potential options that we're looking at. It would be stop loss. So it would all come down to the open of the next candle in regards to getting a stop loss placement. You're just trying to right for the water. It's actually not water, mate. Was why 41.39 is not an area for you. Price has gone up there. 41.39. You're talking about here? It is, but I'm not looking to sell below it, so it's irrelevant to me. The level I want to get involved in a buy has to be above the resistance. I'm not looking to buy it whilst it's consolidating. I'm looking to buy it above the consolidation or back at the support. This a closure, bullish closure here has done nothing if it hasn't closed right up near the high. So to me, it's irrelevant because I'm not going to try to sell it below it because we're in a really strong uptrend, in my opinion. I'm not going to try to counter trade when we've got daily counter probabilities to the upside. We've got the weekly counter probabilities to the upside. We've got 15-minute and 4-hour structure bullish. I'm not interested in that level because I'm not going to buy from it. I need it to be above 41.46 for a buy, or above the high at 41.55, 56, that sort of region, or back at support at 41.34, that sort of region. One Clipper is at London session right now. No, 40 minutes, just under. BM, sorry mate, didn't hear about this question. Do you think it's going to range till the news? Possibly, mate. Possibly. Who knows? Could do. But I even need to be patient and wait for a strong confirmation. Alberto, what are you locking? What am I looking at? XAUUSD spot gold. BM down there is a strong confirmation for you. What down here? It's no confirmation of anything until we form a price action catalyst. It's a level of interest for sure. So don't get mixed up, guys. These zones aren't confirmations, they're just levels of interest. Confirmation is and the signals, and my indicators are these candles. Making sure I get the last few grams of creatine for today. Best supplement you in the world by far. Extremely good for you. Only potential side effect is hair loss. It's not an issue for me. Mine ran away a year ago. Huge strain, you can hear it. Fair enough. Didn't realize my mic was that sensitive. Usually you guys are carrying on about echoing all the time. And what am I favoring right now? Favoring buys, but there is no confirmation. Is it such? Not at the minute, but yes, I'm interested in buying, looking for buys. Running games, I have an issue with my trade. Sometimes I exit too late and sometimes I exit too early. Well, you need to have a plan and need to stick to that plan. Have some rules. Know when you want to start to maybe secure some partials and get to break even. Exit some positions. Know when it's going against you. You might want to cut partials as well. And it all depends on what type of trader you are. If you're a scalper, micro scalper, intraday trader, swing trader, it's all, you know, depending on what you do. Peter, g'day to you, mate. Hope you're well. Marco, thank you for the sticker, my friend. TikTok. Let's get that chat moving. Marco, do you trade rare earth minerals? No, I don't, but I did mention one particular Vanek ETF months and months ago that is absolutely pumping. REMX. Mentioned when it was at $45. What is it now? 69.20. It's had a bit of a pullback. Highest was 75.38. Actually, it's probably higher than that. But it was higher than that. But I mean, recently, I was calling it from here. Literally calling it from here. I remember it was 46 something. Rare earth minerals. I mean, increasingly more difficult to attain for a lot of countries. Reason being is because a lot of it is found in Russia and China. Obviously, the West don't get on too well with either of those countries. Obviously, those two countries are part of the BRICS. There's a little issue with that. So yeah, maybe the reason as to why that particular ETF has absolutely pumped. Marco, yes, it's keeper. I've got VML and nice one, mate. Good work. Yeah, I'm personally not trusting anything digital at the moment. That's just me personally. I'd rather physical. I'd rather have tangible assets. Gold a little bit of volume at the minute. It's just popping about. Looks like it's about to melt and pops back up. Can you check out NQ for me? NQ. Can I check out NAS because NQ is the delayed feed because I don't have TradingView Pro. Just got the basic version. I don't mind it. It's going to look the same anyway. Just NAS will be, obviously it's not delayed. Prices will be a tad different, but it's the same pattern. So you'll be looking at the same type of thing. So obviously if the back off the fact that it's less likely the Fed are going to increase rates and more likely they're going to cut rates, NAS is also pushed to the upside. Doesn't need necessarily lower wick. As I mentioned, I remember throughout all these candles saying that it doesn't necessarily need one and never create one. Same thing applies to the current candle. As long as any pullback is met by previous levels of support and defended, not necessarily going to create that lower wick. What suggests we may do so though is that fact that we're at some solid resistance here in a daily. We have respected that previous daily candles high as well for the time being. So it could lead to a deeper pullback, but we know we are at a strong level of resistance. For our structure, to me, does remain bearish. As long as it remains below the highs here at 25 roughly. Be marking this is the most recent resistance, or attach it to the highest point, which at the moment is a bullish candle. See what level we've got on the 15. Miles off this support, but we will mark it in nonetheless. Make our way down to the 15-minute time frame. Now that to me has also, well, actually gotta look at this properly. So that's the high. We've got to swing here, create a higher high at this point. The highest point of the impulse up is the swing. Have we technically flipped the structure? Have we closed below this wick? We have, so it's technically bearish in the 15 as well. That is an ideal level to look for a sell based on the fact that the 4-hour structure is still bearish. It's pulled back to create a lower high in the structure itself. The 15-minute has rejected the 4-hour zone or created resistance on the 4-hour and flipped the 15-minute structure itself. So to me, I'd be favoring sells. Marking that as minus support, changing it to blue. It would be nice, and again, I would not trade at this time of day. It's just me, but we may have the confirmation of minus support forming in a minute and a half, just under. So prematurely mark that in. The following candle close below it, I'd be looking for sells to take it back down towards 24.78 roughly. Otherwise, I'd be looking for pullback sells. You've got a level within the resistance on the 4-hour at 24.876, and I'd probably be looking for price to reject that point for a potential sell. And if it does pop up, only to pop back down to that 24.842, 24.840, 838. That's where I'd probably start trusting that maybe could be the lowest point in the daily. We could be heading it back up. So break the Asian range low again, pop back above it. That could be enough for a potential buy option. Gold doesn't really have a heartbeat in the minute. It's just right where we started the stream. Not much going on. I'm all good, not a problem. Trading games, the problem is that after reaching my target, I feel like there's potential for more profit. Yeah, that's greed, mate. That's all part of the emotional cycle that every trader goes through at some stage. Got to get on top of that greed, mate. Wow. Burn for a second and gold shits the bed. That's good. I like it. We're heading back to a level of interest. And then the exact opposite happens. Yeah, so again, you just need to have a plan, mate. Once you exit trade, just need to accept it. Maybe walk away for at least half an hour. Have it in your rules. Marco, I think copper will do extremely well too. Yep, copper is being stolen a lot. It's been theft of copper because it's also quite scarce. Jaden, what time does London open? Brisbane, so you're the same time as me at the moment in Melbourne at 6:30 p.m. so in 30 minutes. Marco, all good. Yep. HAGU, had a look at it before. What's it done? Is it rejecting resistance? Yeah, I'd be looking for sales from the current level. I've been waiting for a confirmation. We are at a 4-hour level of resistance this week. As long as we remain below it, I would not be interested in buying it. Plus the fact structure is basically bearish across the board, where I see it. So I'd be more interested in selling it. Gold, this is good. This is what we want to see. Hop back down to the level of interest. Let's see what happens at that level. Very Cannon, boom. Someone's in a sell. AJ, all good. AJ, much better. Nice one. Carl, you more certainly can. It's probably already played out though. You can send charts in as you please, my friend. And you can send a full link in, seeing you are a mod of the channel. KSS Multimedia, please check 1 hour. As the support you have marked on the 15 has mitigated an interruption. I think the right zone should be 1 hour down. Yeah, I understand, but I'm not trading the 1 hour time frame. So I get what you mean. You're talking about being here, but I'm not trading that time frame. My catalyst is the 15 and within it, what's going on within it. So that's being the 5 minutes at confluence. So to me, that is the zone. I mean, this is the zone, but I've just marked in the level also below because it lines up with the resistance to the left. We pretty much tap into it there either way. So you could just focus on that level. Not interested in selling it below it though. I'm really not, because it's in such a strong uptrend. I'd rather just wait and see how price reacts towards the Asian range low and see if it gives a buy option. Alt Securi, sell or buy. At the minute there is no trade for me. Preferencing buys, but I need to wait for the right confirmation. You haven't seen, oh, you got it linked now. On the 1 hour? Yeah, the 1 hour looks good. Yeah, look, that's fair enough. Yeah, it's happy now while I was messing around to fix the issue. Ooh. Unfortunate. Always another option, potential option. Oh, most certainly is all part of the game. The love-hate game of trading. To me, yes, I do enjoy it. There are times where you really couldn't be bothered. There are times where you just feel like you're lacking focus, and that's probably best on most days not to trade. It's not meant to be exhilarating. Trading is meant to be quite boring because it requires enormous patience. Those who succeed are generally the ones who have the patience. Those that gamble, some will get lucky, but for the most part, most will blow their account at some point. PJ is pretty much dog crap. Looks absolutely terrible. GU breaking above this resistance, but as I mentioned, you got that to the left. It's a 4 hour level, it's a big level. So I would not be chasing this buy. EU, I like it. Looks a lot cleaner. I would preference sells if it does reject. Bitcoin making a little bit of a pullback after it bounced almost to 90k. And NAS close. So NAS create that support. Alrighty, gold. Looking pretty good. Looks like we're going to tap into that level of interest and let's see how price reacts to it. And we're tapped into it. Nice one. Oh. Wow. Dropping like it's hot at the moment. It's all right. It's still got a level below it. All good. Let's keep this level in because I want to see what happens. We still may close back above it. Declan, have I answered? No. There is no confirmation to answer. Nudge, sell or buy? At the minute, nothing. I'm looking for a buy. There is no confirmation of buy at the minute. Popping back above that support. All right, let's see how this candle closes. If this closes very, very, very weak bearish, we could look at a similar entry we took about a week or a couple weeks back on stream, where what we waited for was for price to create lower wick without creating an upper wick. And then we bought it as it flipped and broke the high of that previous candle. And that was a really nice win. We'll keep a little bit of an eye on that. The chances of it happening are very slim though. Slim is better than none. We'll see. Let's also watch the 5 minute a little bit and see this. So we're closing back weak bearish here. If the next 5 minute closes back bullish engulfing, just marking a high of that candle. Let's see what the 15 will look like. 15 will be closing back bullish, a long liquidity grab from the downside. Then it will come down to the formation of the low wick in the following candle, and then we could have a potential entry if price begins to break above this candle's high. We'll have to again keep an eye on what the lowest point of the following candle is, so we can get a stop loss that is reasonable but still gives us enough margin to target. Right now, if we were to use this candle as a stop loss, if this was to be our catalyst, it just would not be worth it. You're rolling with a huge stop loss with very little margin. You're looking at 80 plus pips for a target of probably about 30 plus. Yeah, not even 30. So it needs to be absolutely perfect. Maybe about 20 pip pull back on the following candle, and then we could have an option, guys. So let's just under 4 minutes. Alex, do you think trading multiple pairs good or for future to be prop? No, I do not. I do not think it's a good idea. I think focus on one or two. It's up to you. I prefer just one. I used to trade multiple pairs, especially if they're conflicting pairs. So for instance, GU, GJ, because they don't always move the same direction. A lot of people think they will, but not always. Sometimes that can put you off an entry if they're moving opposite to each other. All right, so we may have a valid entry in 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes. But again, we need a decent lower wick. Can't be huge because we don't have much margin. Trading games, I usually set my zone based on the recent M30. That's fair enough. Everyone, you know, does it differently. There is no real right or wrong. It's just what works for you. Trading games, I only trade when price moves outside my zone, but it usually gets rejected. Just, yeah, so you need to be patient. Ashton, do you learn to trade pairs or learn to trade any pair? What do you mean? I trade gold, that's all I trade. But what I do would work on any Forex pair. I used to trade GJ well with it. Got sick of GJ because it does this for so much of when I'm on the charts, just consolidates and maybe makes a move after getting involved. So for me, gold gives me enough options. I have an option shortly. Ashton, like, would your strategy work? Yes, it does. I successfully helped a student of mine pass and become a consistent trader, pass a prop firm challenge, and trades NAS and gold, predominantly NAS, based off what I do. So just over a minute and a half, guys. We need to focus. So the entry, potential entry, if there is to be one, would be above current candles high. Now on my broker, that is 41.39.01, so 41.39.30 would be a potential entry. But it all comes down to the low wick on the following candle, because if it doesn't give me a low wick, there is no entry. If it doesn't give me a decent one, so I'd probably preference it popping back towards the open of this candle minimum. But again, we want it to close. Yeah, we don't want it to reject like this right now. Let's just see. Doji, not a bad result. Still a potential reversal signal. And it will all come down to how the new candle opens up, if there is to be a potential entry. I would still preference the 5 minute though, closing bullish engulfing. That would be fantastic. He's pulling back though, struggling. All right, let's see. Nice. Looks like we could have the first tick. Yep, that's good enough. Now we need a lower wick, and I will set a buy stop. So let's quickly measure it. All right, I'm going to set a buy stop. Got a tiny lower wick. I'm just going to have to trust that. Buy stop is set at 30, 41.39.30. Cool. All right, so we're in. Actually triggered into this trade. It's a pretty tight stop, guys. Oof, really tight stop. $41.30, $37. All right, let's see if the win streak continues or if we're gonna take a loss. Remains to be seen. Ashton got you, thank you, all good. This prop firm counts real money or not? Riz? No, they're basically fake money as far as I'm concerned. Oh, looks like it could reject. Yeah, oh, so close to being taken out. Really tight stop, so I don't mind it. More than accepting of this risk. It's a small risk trade. Yeah, I'm out. Well, not quite. Still in it. Just. This stage, it's the tag and drag are the ones you don't like when you get triggered into a trade and it pops straight down. Manhunter? Yes, I am. And I would not suggest entering unless it breaks its own high again. Stop loss, I've got it really tight, 41.37. Got ever so close, got within a pip and a bit of stop loss. A month is how many months you were profitable. Months, years. Not a losing month this year. I don't plan on having one. It's not going to happen, to be honest, because this month's been a cracker. Oh, stop loss so close once again to being hit. Yeah, I'm done. All right, I'm out. Out pretty quickly on that one, so all good. Accepting of the risk. That's just a small loss, so let me copy that, and that goes into the journal for my team later on. And look at it now. Yeah, I'm not chasing it. There's no re-entry for me. That was the move. So the next entry for me has to come at this point either lower down or back above this resistance. That's just where it has to come from. But nonetheless, it's all good. You're allowed to take losses. Losses are all part of the game. So it's a strike on that one. The only thing it does is just push that winning record down a bit. So trades taken. Let's add that to the stream. Yeah, they're the worst ones. Tags and drags are terrible. But at least it was over and done with quickly. So that I suppose is a good thing, you know, wait and sit through it agonizingly. All right, so what's that? Take the record to 135 and 34. Ooh, one loss dropped it back a fair bit. So first loss on stream for quite a while, to be honest. Yeah, so it looks like we're popping back down a little bit further. So the mistake on that one was we needed more of a low wick. I need more of a low wick. That was the obvious mistake. So maybe just jump the gun a little bit, but you live and learn. It's all part of it. Never gonna. Whoop. Oh man. YouTube, are you guys still there? Hold on, let me find you guys again. I accidentally closed the screen. Alright, here you are. Still there? Nice one. Hello, double response me. Got treated in right after place the order. Yeah, fair enough. Dean, still here. Yep, nice one. Lost some dollars. Yeah, sorry, but it's all part of it. Again, you need to accept it. It's trading. I need help pass as well. Riz is answer that before. I was in a position. Lot size is not of any relevance to anyone. It does not help anyone. No one benefits from that sort of question. Ask a technical question about trading. I'm so above 30. Still buy? Still a buy, but I need a signal again. Futures trading? It happens, mate. It happens. It's just the luck of the draw. I can't win every single time. I'm sorry about it. It's just, it is what it is. It's all trading. Lachlan, how long till trade is trying to move my lord? No idea. Mow your law, mate. Benel limped. I got liquidated. My stop loss was hit. Yes, my stop loss. My account didn't get liquidated. I would have lost in that particular trade very little. Very little. And my wins of late have been a lot larger than what they used to be. A lot larger. I've had some runners of over 200 pips, some over 100 pips. That was like a 20, what was it, 23 pip stop. That's nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Ellie will sell. We could sell. Resellers spot. We're in a big sell. Tapped in 5-minute supply zone. Again, fair enough. I'm not. Look, you guys do what you want to do. I'm not saying I'm more right than you, or you know, it's just my opinion. You don't have to follow what I do. It's up to you guys. You do what you want to do. AJ, I just came and don't know what happened. Can you explain your decision and where it went wrong? Where it went wrong, didn't have much enough of low wick. So normally I'd be more strict with it and want it to create more low wick prior to an entry. Based on the fact that it could have done so, and it's obviously done so. Back to create more low wick. Why I took the entry? Because we tapped into a range below, only to close back bullish. We had a bullish engulfing 5-minute candle to end the closure, to close the M15 at level of interest. Just need more low wick to trust it. So had I waited more patiently, which is a strength of mine, but this time it jumped a little bit early, I would have been spared the loss. But it happens again. It happens, and if you can't accept it, you're just never ever going to make it as a trader. So it is what it is. I decided to take the entry, and I took a loss off the back of it. Justin 10, shorting. Where should I put my TP? Wherever you want, mate. Me's tapped into support. That would be the target. Lalo. Yeah, you don't come on here asking people for money or anything. Sorry, mate. That's how I roll. So you get the boot. Justin 10, think 4100 for a short. TP is good. Psychological number. So in that regard, that's okay. But you got levels in between. Still struggling at the current level. Danny, no, I'm not in a short.
It sound right, boy.
Carl being a smart ass. Jason. Take off a few zeros and it would be closer, to be honest, mate. Loose nug, you're in a buy right now. Yeah, as far as the level, it's not a bad level. All good runs have to come to an end. I mean, the last 2 weeks have been phenomenal, been cracking, probably some of the best weeks of the year, to be honest. Without really checking it out again, I can't remember. There's been some really good weeks, but the last few weeks, last week 4-0 was a really good return. A week prior to that was 2-0, but both those trades ran and they were really good returns. I had one for over 130 pips and the other one went for over 230. So a 23 pip loss is just, it's absolutely nothing. Training games, yes, it does open its doors in 2 minutes, the currency markets. Well, looks like it wants to potentially come back down a little bit further here. Are we going to retest the Asian range low? That is the point where we do. Close below, pull back to retest it and begin to pull away from it. I do believe that could lead to perhaps more of a sell-off. And then that 4100 flat would come into play, in my opinion. Meme frame? Do I start fam wide? No. Not at all. I'd rather be asleep. I wake up early. I'm not interested in being up. Having a chance dictate my life. London open, guys. So closed back below to support. I'm not interested in selling it. Does look good if it does flip and break its own low though. It's come down. It's got no lower wick. Lachlan looking for now probably either lower down buys or above 41, 46. There's nothing at the minute. Adrian break 41, 31. Yeah, didn't close below it though. Meme frame, respect, thank you. Yeah, I'm buggered by that point of the night, to be honest. James, long. Well, tried to take a long before, but I actually got wrecked on it, so just waiting. Carl, nearly hit TP1 trade here. Nice one. Peter, can you tell me about VIP courses? What difference between it? There's only one. There's no difference, mate. There's the one course which will be getting updated. So that course is inclusive in the VIP. As is all the calls, the members calls, all the other pre-recorded education content, such as the education sessions. There were a few other things recorded and added to the education side of things as well. But yeah, there is only one course, mate. There is no difference. It's all the one thing. Difference in pricing. One's the monthly. As standard VIP, that gets you access to everything. Platinum includes the coaching sessions, the private sessions, twice a month. Here we go. So it's flipped. So if anyone is in a sell now or was looking for that sell, you'd be triggered in. I'm not selling it, so I'm not in this, guys. And the other option is annual, so you just get it a little bit cheaper if you purchase annual. So that's the difference, mate. All good, my friend. Hazai far west. I think we'll go below 41, possibly. Peter, not a problem. James, yes, I'm hoping it's gonna test last down candle and flip to the upside. Yeah, it's still very early into London, so just have to wait and see. Use, I think, 41.38 for sell and TP around 40.60 to 50. Yeah, fair enough. Got a wider target, so Michael, I think there's going to be another trade. You think? Is there going to be another trade, you think? Don't know. This rate doesn't look likely, to be honest. Because it looks like we may head further south before potentially bouncing. And I can't be on forever because I will be on later with my team as well. So in between, I'm going to have some time to have dinner and chill for a bit. But yeah, I do enjoy the calls with the team. It's more chilled. We get to know each other a bit, have a chat. Or people jumping on the call. Totally cool and calm about that loss. It's like water off a duck's back, in all honesty. That's how it should be. In all honesty, when it comes to trading. Even if you weren't as strict with your rules, you just got to move on, except that you're going to take some losses here and there. Gaddafi from Uganda, welcome to you. But easily fix that entry. It's a very easy fix. Just need to wait for more of a low wick. It's very simple. Yeah, gold is just a little bit indecisive. To me, it looks more likely to pop down before it heads back up. But I'm not looking for sells based on structure, based on higher time frame counter probabilities. So again, for me to sell is I'd rather it actually pop below daily low, retest it, begin to pull away from it. That's distance off still. I'd just be focused on buying it basically, otherwise at the minute it is not close to a potential entry. So on that note, I think I'm going to call it. It is what it is. Today is an L day, first in a long time for the stream, but all good. But yeah, guys, so what I'd be looking for is, for me, the entry points are either lower down on the right confirmation, maybe at 41.27 sort of level, 28, or back above 41.46. Look, if you are looking for sells, possibly wait and see if this candle rejects and closes back below the support, and then you could look for a possible entry below 41.30.9 roughly. Just depends on your broker's chart as well. The downside, and it's likely to hit back down to 41.27 at that point. It's not a great deal of margin though. This range is becoming less, well, less for you to target. Less margin is what I'm obviously looking for. What I'm trying to say. Jesus, I need to go have some dinner. That's for sure. But yeah, nonetheless, guys, gave it a crack. Is what it is. But do trade safe. There is a lot of news to come moving forward with PPI retail sales for US dollar. We'll be back on tomorrow. Looking forward to that. My members, I will be back with you guys in a bit of time. I'll keep you guys posted, maybe an hour and a half from now. I look forward to that. And yeah, Black Friday deal. If anyone interested, want to know more, feel free to send me a message. YouTube, it is pinned top of the chat. Till tomorrow, guys, take care, trade safe, have a good one, and I will catch you then and there. Cheers, guys. Bye, team.